Oklahoma and Texas are headed early to the SEC for a smooth combined $100 million for the Big 12. And Brett Yormark, the commissioner, talked about how that's going to help accelerate their efforts for their current Big 12, their 12-team conference. But we also know this. Brett Yormark is not just going to sit on his hands. They're going to play offense. Brett Yormark, his former boss, is Jay-Z. There is no way. I would be wildly surprised if the Big 12 were to stay at 12 teams. Obviously, you got UCF. You have Cincinnati. You have BYU joining the conference. You got Houston joining the conference. So those four are soon to join. But I don't think they're staying at 12, folks. I'm sure you don't either. So with that being said, who else could they join? Who else is on conference realignment watch that they could go out and snag and add to the Big 12 conference? I just want to start with this disclaimer. Nobody knows anything. Okay, there's reports that are out there and people are circulating and there's rumors, there's whispers. I would just tell you to be cautious of those because remember, before the Big 12 went and added these new four teams, there was a lot of conversation around, hey, BYU's not going to join because of the student handbook, and then wouldn't you know it, ended up working out, BYU's joining the Big 12. So I would just say, listen to the reports, but proceed with caution before you say anything is final. Because remember, I think it was like a week or two ago that they were saying the Big 12 wasn't going to get a deal done with Oklahoma and Texas to get them to the SEC early. So this is all very fluid. You have a lot of people with a lot of power with a fair amount of time to add these schools. So without further ado, who else could they add to the conference? One of the prime spots that I'm looking at, one of the prime schools that I'm looking at right away, if I'm Brett Yormark, how about Oregon? Nike branding, national branding, a lot of excitement around that program, a lot of excitement around that school. The dollars and cents of it makes sense to me for the Big 12. Now for Oregon, with USC and UCLA leaving to the Pac-12, I'm looking at Oregon, I'm looking around, I'm saying, okay, we got Oregon State around us. Okay, we got Washington State around us. No knock on those schools, but if I'm Oregon, I'm saying I'm doing a fair amount of the legwork here. I could go potentially make a move in the Super Conference era. Where's the Pac-12 headed? Far be it for me to say it's going to be going under. I hope that's not the case. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't think that'll be the case, but if I'm Oregon, it might be in the best interest of your own conference to go check out the Big 12. So I like the Oregon Ducks to be a solid option for the Big 12 conference. Again, this is all wild speculation, but if we're going to do this kind of exercise here, I think Oregon makes a lot of sense for me. If you have not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you a part of this program, The People's Show, a college football community that we meet up every single day. So we'd love to have you subscribed. Would love to have you a part of this. Also, follow me on Twitter and on Instagram, at Judy Piquel. Would love to hear from y'all there. Another school I'm looking at, staying in the Pac-12. How about the Washington Huskies? The Seattle TV market could be lucrative for the Big 12. They have a solid national brand, and I'm doing the same thought process with Oregon as I am with Washington. Washington's going to carry more than their fair share in that conference. It's not to knock the other schools, but Washington is one of the breadwinners with USC and UCLA leaving. Again, everyone here is acting in their own self-interest. It's like the game of musical chairs in the Super Conference era. The music is now playing. We're all walking around these chairs. We're all trying to figure out what the best landing spot for us is now. When that music stops, you better have a good chair. You better have a spot that you're comfortable sitting in for the foreseeable future. So it's either act now or get left behind. I think for Washington, acting now, or relatively now, I suppose, and becoming a Big 12 conference member would make sense to me. Now, how about USF? You already got UCF joining the Big 12. Largest enrollment in the country, I believe, or at least one of the largest enrollments in the country. USF, also pretty large enrollment, right around 49,000 individuals per a Google search enrolled at USF. And this makes sense geographically. Why not get the set of Florida schools? Why not expand the Big 12 footprint even more? And also that enrollment, you know what that means? Money. It means eyeballs. It means alumni. It means dollars and cents. And Brett Yormark, I think he's doing a great job. I love his aggressive nature and how they're going about things with expanding and getting money out of Texas and Oklahoma. Like, I love that for the Big 12. I love that for Brett Yormark, but he's worried about dollars and cents. He is seeing this from an entertainment standpoint. He's seeing this from a brand standpoint. And USF, I think, has a lot to like from a mechanic standpoint. Like I said, the location, the enrollment, the money, baby. Men lie, women lie. The greenbacks don't lie, and USF, to me, would make a lot of sense there. That is University of South Florida. Now, to stick with the Group of 5 school, how about Boise State, a brand that I think you could throw a little bit of money at, and that brand is just going to continue to grow and to boom. Boise State reminds me of a TCU when they were going to join the Big 12. And I'm not comparing Boise, Idaho to Dallas-Fort Worth, but I do think Boise State is a more national brand with what they've done on the New Year's Six stage over the course of the last decade or so. Or maybe it's even a little bit more than a decade there. I'm aging myself here. But you hear what I'm saying. Boise State is becoming a more national brand. And I think that their best days could be ahead of them with the right support around them. Being in the Big 12, I think, could just continue to feed the beast that Boise State is becoming. Competitive athletics program across the board. Love where football's headed. They're making the money. Also could provide some geographical sense with having BYU in the conference. I think BYU is something like 1,000 miles from the next closest Big 12 campus. But if Boise State joins, maybe you have a nice little neighbor there for the rest of the Big 12. So I like Boise State. And here's the last pairing that I would say. Arizona and Arizona State make a lot of sense. And I should have said this at the beginning. I don't see a world where the Big 12 just adds one school. I think you count in pairs here to keep it even, to stick with the integrity of divisions and being able to decide the conference champion the best, if that makes sense. So Arizona and Arizona State, you got the Phoenix TV market. You have the geographical proximity with how close they are to Texas and the Texas schools there. Like, I'm just saying, if you're doing the puzzle pieces, the Arizona States, they fit real nicely. And as they continue to expand, I think that would make a lot of sense to me. So at the end of the day, like I said, this is about survival. You want to stay top tier as we continue to expand. The Big Ten's going to have 16 teams here soon. The SEC is expanding with Oklahoma and Texas. The college football playoff is expanding. And this, to me, just would protect the Big 12. I firmly believe they will expand, but this is about survival. This is about staying relevant. This is about being a top tier conference. And you're treading water, I think, pretty nicely. Maybe even treading water is a negative way to say it, but you're staying afloat with adding those 4 schools. Go out and add some more teams because that's the way that college football is trending. So we'll keep an eye on it, but I would be wildly shocked if we don't see some news about realignment and adding schools here in the near future for the Big 12 Conference. The college football apocalypse is here. Doesn't mean it's the end of college football, but it is, I think, the beginning of college football, the beginning of the end of college football, rather, as we have known it. The Super Conference era is fastly approaching. We appreciate you rocking with us. Nick, Break, Lift, and Heavy. This is your show. Cannot stress it enough. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us. Hit the bell so you do not miss when we go live. We go live twice a week, Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Just a good time, man. We'd love to have y'all there. Follow me on socials as well, at JD Piquel, Twitter and Instagram. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.